Madam President, I had the opportunity a few years ago to ride with 2 police officers. It was a specialized unit that had been established with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department on drunk drivers. I learned so much. It was really a good experience for me. Things that I really simply didn't know existed. For example, if you see a car with no lights on, it's nighttime, there's a 50% chance that's a drunk driver. You see a car making a wide sweep around a corner very slowly, good chance that's a drunk driver. And they have other things that they look for. As we patrolled the streets watching for these drunk drivers and responding to calls that came to these police officers, I was struck by how openly they talked about the dangers that they face every day. Having myself been a police officer and never talking about dangers because we didn't have many, this was something that was really an eye-opener for me. But for modern-day police officers, it's an inherent part of the jobs, but part of their families' lives that they never get used to, these families. Every day in every city and town around the country, brave men and women, all of whom volunteer to serve their communities, put themselves in danger to protect us, their friends, their neighbors, and so many that they'll never even know existed or meet. They take that risk to give us peace of mind in our everyday activities. On Police Week, we recognize those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, those who have given their lives in the line of duty. This evening, they'll be honored at a candlelight vigil not far from here. Their names will be added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial alongside their families. We'll celebrate their dedication and remember their sacrifice. 4 of those names belong to Las Vegas policemen who were killed last year. This morning I had the chance to meet with their families and eat 8:30 breakfast. They, of course, are some of the strongest Nevadans that we could ever meet and I ever met. Officer Daniel Leach was a career corrections officer. He began his shift last November 21st by driving to Laughlin to pick up prisoners to the Tucker Holding Facility. He was going to take them from Clark County Detention Center to Las Vegas. But before he could get to Laughlin, not far from my home in Searchlight, he was involved in a vicious 2-vehicle accident and was killed instantly. Officer Leach was 49 years old, spent his last 25 years of his life as a Las Vegas police officer. He survived his wife, who I met this morning, 2 children, his parents, 1 brother and 1 sister. Before Trevor Nettleton was an officer in the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, he proudly held the honored title of a United States Marine. His 9 years in the Marine Corps included service in the elite Presidential Guard Unit, where he protected President George W. Bush. Last November 19th, 2 days before Officer Leach was killed, Officer Nettleton was shot and killed by 3 gang members who broke into his garage in an attempt to rob him and his family. Officer Nettleton was 30 years old, left behind a wife, 2 young children, his parents and a brother. Millie, as everyone called him, was on patrol late one Wednesday night when a car turned in front of him. Like Officer Nettleton, Officer Milburn Battelle, the third, was also a Marine, and tragically has also died as a Las Vegas police officer at age 30. Officer Battelle swerved to avoid another car while he was driving, but was thrown from his patrol cruiser and died early that next morning. He, of course, was on to a call that he had received. He is survived by his parents and brother. Last Friday marked 1 year since Officer James Manor responded to his last call. It was in the same Las Vegas community where he grew up. While responding to a domestic abuse call, a pickup truck driver failed to yield to him in his police vehicle, going as fast as he could to respond to that dispute. Collision occurred, and James Manor was killed. He was known as Jamie. He had 10 brothers and sisters, and even more when we considered brothers and sisters who served on the police force with him. His siblings, his mother, and his large extended family will tell his young daughter, Jayla, who I met this morning, beautiful little 8-year-old girl. They'll tell her and the rest of the family about who he was. They'll tell Jayla about how courageous her father was, who died. He was 28 years old. This memorial wall that will bear these 4 Nevadans' names is a living reminder of some of our most selfless citizens. This year, we'll also add to that wall the names of Nevadans whom we recognize belatedly, some very belatedly. Uriah Gregory, a jailer from Virginia City, during its heyday, was killed by 2 prisoners in 1866. Arthur St. Clair was a constable, father of 2, and George Requa, a deputy sheriff, were killed in an ambush in Elko in 1920. They were both killed at the same time. Charles Lewis, another deputy sheriff from Elko, was killed by a thief in 1925. George Washington Cotant, an Elko constable, died in a car accident in 1937. Hugh Gallagher Sr., a deputy sheriff from Virginia City, who died on duty in 1948. Ronald Haskell, a narcotics agent in Carson City, who died on duty in 1975. Richard Wilson, a sergeant from Hawthorne, Nevada, who died after apprehending a suspect in 1994. These men were killed a long time ago, one almost 150 years ago, when Nevada had been a state for only 2 years. It doesn't matter the time. We can never forget their sacrifices. Every day we should thank those who wake up on otherwise unremarkable mornings and head out to work with the job simply to keep us safe. Today we thank and honor the courageous Nevadans who, one unforgettable night, never came home.